I have text from Stephen Miller where he's like, we need white boy November. Oh, yeah. I have text from Stephen Miller where he's like, we need white boy November. Oh, yeah.
Elon suggested to you in a text.
You want to see the text?
I do.
Wait, do we have my phone?
Was the baby in vitro or old-fashioned?
No, it was not in vitro.
So you all had sex to conceive the baby?
It was not in vitro.
All right, joining me today in studio on iHip News is Ashley St. Clair. She is a former right-wing media influencer. And I do not like to define women by their exes, but an important detail here is she has a child with Elon Musk. So I apologize for that because you are your own person on your own. But because he's had the keys to the government, it's an important detail. And because you were in close proximity to him. And so you've been making the rounds now.
I keep saying, I'm like, people need to wait to reach out because they're going to think I'm a plant. So I'm like, I swear they're just all reaching out at the same time.
So you've been making the rounds on the left-wing media ecosystem. Walk me through what changed in you from, I know you were young when you fell prey to the right-wing kind of cult stuff, but what clicked and what changed where you were like, this is bullshit?
Well, let me be clear, too, about, I am doing left-wing media, but no right-wing media has reached out because they know that I'm telling the truth about MAGA. Not a single one. They will talk about me. They will do all this, but they haven't reached out. And I've been on their shows before. There wasn't any one moment. It was very cumulative that I saw things. I got involved very young. I was 18 years old on my college campus, and I get involved with Turning Point. And to be so insecure and so young. I was homeschooled in high school. So then I go to college.
Oh,
it
the
makes
homeschool.
It always makes sense. It always clicks for people.
Yeah.
But then I go to college and I'm like, people kind of like me. And I'm in this, nerdier side where I like the politics and I get involved with Turning Point. And it was within a year that then I'm driving Charlie Kirk to the airport and he's telling me I'm doing great work. And that to an insecure 18, 19-year-old girl is really formative. And I, for whatever reason, needed that validation and got it through the worst means necessary and got caught up in it. But the issue with them is that then you get caught up and they tell you you don't need college. So then I drop out of college. Then I'm financially dependent on this cult. I'm cut off from information because everything is fake news. I'm told not to trust my professors, not to trust anyone except, Twitter and Fox News. And you just get caught up. I explain it in the way that it's not just changing your mind when you want to leave, it's blowing up your entire life because your social circle, your finances, everything is tied to it. So it's very hard to just leave when you get as deep as I did. So I saw things that were uncomfortable, particularly as it relates to women and the treatment of women within the right wing. I had experiences of my own, like with members of Congress, like Madison Cawthorn. While I was working at Republican companies, I had horrible experiences with people like Benny Johnson. I saw things that were uncomfortable, but I couldn't leave. And then eventually, skipping through a few chapters, I get an offer for $40 million for an NDA. And
from whom?
From Elon.
Okay.
And so when you're...
An NDA, like to never say anything about him ever?
Non-disparagement into eternity.
Okay. 40 million.
40 million. So it was 15 million
when was
lumps.
This?
This was December of 2024.
Okay.
And it with people like Benny Johnson. I saw things that were uncomfortable, but I couldn't leave. And then eventually, skipping through a few chapters, I get an offer for $40 million for an NDA. And
from whom?
From Elon.
Okay.
And so when you're...
An NDA, like to never say anything about him ever?
Non-disparagement into eternity.
Okay. 40 million.
40 million. So it was 15 million
when was
lumps. This from Elon.
Okay.
And so when you're...
An NDA, like to never say anything about him ever?
Non-disparagement into eternity.
Okay. 40 million.
40 million. So it was 15 million
when was
lumps.
This?
This was December of 2024.
Okay.
And it was 15 million lump and then 100K a month for 20 years, 21 years. So a little over 40 million. And in that moment, you have to make a choice. You're like, do I want to be a good person? And there's very hyperbolically, people talk about selling your soul in Hollywood and politics, but they they never talk about the moment that you're presented with that offer. And to me, like, that was that offer. Wow. It was like, sell your soul, take away your voice. No matter what I do, you won't be able to speak about it, but you'll have $40 million. You'll be materially comfortable. Your kids will be taken care of. And so that was right away. I said no.
Let's get into the Elon Musk.
Yeah. And
from whom?
From Elon.
Okay.
And so when you're
an NDA, like to never say anything about him ever?
Non-disparagement into eternity.
Okay. 40 million.
40 million. So it was 15 million
when was
lumps.
This?
This was December of 2024.
Okay.
And it was 15 million lump and then 100K a month for 20 years, 21 years. So a little over 40 million. And in that moment, you have to make a choice. You're like, do I want to be a good person? And there's like very hyperbolically, people talk about like selling your soul for 20 years, 21 years. So a little over 40 million. And in that moment, you have to make a choice. You're like, do I want to be a good person? And there's like very hyperbolically, people talk about like selling your soul in Hollywood and politics, but they never talk about the moment that you're presented with that offer. And to me, like, that was that offer. Wow. It was like, sell your soul, take away your voice. No matter what I do, you won't be able to speak about it, but you'll have $40 million. You'll be materially comfortable. Your kids will be taken care of. And so that was right away. I said no.
Let's get into the Elon Musk situation. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I'm just dying to know some details, like girl to girl. Was the baby in vitro or old fashioned?
No, it was not in vitro.
So you all had sex to conceive the baby?
It was not in vitro.
Artificial insemination?
No, I think that would still be in vitro. I don't want to, discuss the sex life because I know his attorneys will be like furiously writing, but
Right. Okay.
And they're
And
very mad at me all the time. So.
did you observe him using drugs?
Yes.
And is this pretty much like a daily addiction?
I wasn't around him daily, but there were multiple instances where I was around him and he used drugs. And he even texted me saying, Wall Street Journal did this piece saying I'm high all the time. I'm a little high. So.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my husband's in recovery and it's been a battle for him. And when I see Elon in the one video that just blows my mind is when he took his little kid X into the Oval and he's just tripping. I mean, he's clearly messed up. He has the black eye and the toddler with him. And I just think, why aren't people stepping in and getting this child to safety?
What's very messed up about that situation is, and speaking about this objectively, the mother of X, Clair Grimes, has stated very publicly many times she does not want that child in the media, that she does not want him online. And so in my opinion, every news outlet who continues to post photos of this child and videos is complicit in going against what this mother wants. She's pleaded online many times. She's reached out to news outlets. And she can't have anything done.
But doesn't it seem like that, the media sucks, for so many different reasons, that Elon would be the most accountable there? And why is she allowing the child to be around somebody on drugs?
How do you hold the richest man in the world accountable when they have infinite resources and she has to fight him in a court in Texas where you might as well not have rights as a mother?
Yeah.
I'm thankful enough that I'm in New York. All of the liberal policies I made fun of, I'm now benefiting from, thank God.
Yeah.
But there are still very much like very archaic laws within this country that do not recognize how controlling these situations can be in family court.
No, and you're right, because I'm from Oklahoma. And so I know that you can have judges that are very conservative in nature and very anti-woman. And so I certainly understand that. And I've seen it happen multiple times before. So when you were with Elon, would you say that y'all were boyfriend, girlfriend?
I don't know that it was ever exclusive, but like we saw each other and spoke very often.
And does he?
And I knew like who he was. I wasn't like, oh, this is my new boyfriend.
Right.
Like we're exclusive. I never expected any sort of exclusivity from that individual.
Is he, it appears to me like he just wants to breed a lot. Like he wants to have a ton of babies.
So the first time that I spent the night with him, he went to sleep listening to a podcast about Kublai Khan.
What's that?
A relative of Genghis Khan.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what his deal is. I really don't. Did not inquire, but I know when I was pregnant, he told me, we need to use surrogates. If we want to have, if we want a legion of kids before the apocalypse, we need to use surrogates.
Before the apocalypse? So is he just kind of nuts all the time? Like psychologically, what's going on with this man?
I think a professional should evaluate him.
So, obviously something is wrong, exacerbated by drug use and then unlimited funds. That would be my opinion. I
can't hypothesize, but I know I don't talk about the apocalypse and ask people to use surrogates.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay. And then Elon suggested to you in a text that
I'll offer you the same thing I did Hassan. You want to see the text?
I do.
Wait, do we have my phone? I do have the text.
That he suggested that he had a new plan for the election.
Hopefully you'll respect me more than Hassan and not read my pick-me-isms.
I will, Ashley.
But here, let's just search lasers. October 5th, 2024.
Oh my God. This is crazy, you guys. It says Elon Musk. Okay. This is not something on the chessboard, so they will be quite surprised. Lasers from space. And you said finally a focus on the Jewish vote, clearly throwing shade to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I have over 10,000 lasers in space.
So he doubles down and quantifies the number of lasers, which is very comparable to the number of satellites he has. But then what's very interesting is I say, if this ends up being the reason, Trump wins, and he puts 100. And then I said,
he does the 100 emoji.
Yes. And I said, I would ask more, but I don't want to be deposed. And he says, why? So, there's all these people like, what did he do with the election? I don't know. Ask him. So
here's where my stance was on it, Ashley. Like, to me, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So I want to believe that the election was rigged because it's painful to think that 77 million people voted for Donald Trump, who was criminal, misogynist, a racist, incompetent, all this stuff, right? Wears a full face of makeup, yet is constantly browbeating trans people.
They love gender affirming care at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, they do. They clearly love it. So I want to believe that. And then there was a lot of statisticians, like maybe a month after the election, I went down this rabbit hole and it was like these statisticians were saying like, there's something wrong here, blah, blah. But I was like, okay, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But it is something interesting coming from him. I do think that if they could do it, they would rig it. There just needs to be more
questions, like especially the role of a social media platform. Like we had Cambridge Analytica with Facebook, and we can't ignore that someone who is the richest individual in the world, who's sending such text messages, owns what is essentially a behavioral inference model on X, and now has XAI, and is doing all of this stuff that, in my opinion,